Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to make some homemade pasta sauce. I'm going to make it a little different than what the recipe says. I'm going to post the link to the recipe that I found in the comments, I meant comments, in the description for anyone that's interested in going and checking out that link. I have 2 other YouTube channels. I have a PayPal if anyone's interested in donating. I now have a Facebook page for the cooking channel. And I'm on Discord as well. You can find all those links in the description. But I have a Dutch oven here. Pretty sure that's the proper name for it. Now, I don't need anything like this the way I'm going to make it. But if you're I'm using this just to show you. If you're going to make it on the stove, you'll have to let it simmer for around 2.5 hours, I believe the recipe says. And this is what it calls for. It recommends using a Dutch oven like this. Of course, any size pot will work. A decent sized pot like this will work. It don't have to be a Dutch oven, I wouldn't think. I have the onions here. Get these onions cleaned. I was going to do this ahead of time. I forgot about it. The celery's washed. The celery's ready to be cut up. Sorry, I meant to do this with the onions ahead of time. That way all I would have to do is cut them up, put them in the pan. But, like I said, I forgot about it. I'm always forgetting something. I'm not a professional cook or anything, but I try. Sorry about my hands. If you've seen some other videos, you'll know my hands shake quite bad. I haven't cut myself yet. The recipe calls for 1 onion, but I like onions. The recipe calls to cut a lot of the stuff up fine and smaller pieces, but like I said, I like my onions in bigger pieces. I never made homemade pasta sauce before. Although, I went and had yesterday, a place I wanted to try for a long time, in Somerville, Michigan. It's called the Old Tavern Inn. If you like, now I'm going to forget the name of it here. Goulash. If you like goulash, oh, they make some good goulash. I bought the carrots. It's already cut up in smaller pieces. Stir this up here. Don't want to burn onions or anything. I'm going to be putting this in a pressure cooker. Most of these celery stalks is already small pieces, so I'm not going to cut them in half or anything. I am going to cut them up in smaller pieces. I was going to add bell pepper, but I forgot it at the store. The recipe don't call for it. But I like bell pepper. This don't take too long to make. So, I don't know, I probably should have cut up the vegetables ahead of time, but let this cook for a few minutes. Then I'll add the stew meat to it. Because I'm making it with stew meat. I wanted to add 2 pounds of stew meat. A little too much for me. You know how expensive things in the store get it. That's a little too much for me. Like I said, I am going to be putting this in a pressure cooker. Well, this big pot really isn't necessary. I'm not going to add all those ingredients in it that it calls for. Next, I have 1.29 pounds of stew meat. It cost me $15. So to get the other pound of stew meat, it would have cost me another $15, and 1 pound's good enough. I'm on a budget. I'm on disability and don't get a whole lot of money, so I gotta watch what I spend. You want a brown? The stew meat. It don't take too long. You don't need to cook it real well. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Gotta get the pressure cooker down. Maybe. I should have done that ahead of time. I'm adding tomatoes in now. Diced tomatoes. So you can make it on the stove. If you do, you want to use a pot like this. At least that's what the recipe calls for. After you get everything in there, you want to turn it down to a simmer for, it says on the recipe, for 2.5 hours. Now this calls for 28 ounces, which is 2 of those cans. I'll save that one aside. I might not use that one. I'll see. Now this does call for, the recipe calls to add 1 cup of wine or beef broth. I'm using beef broth. And it says to add 1 cup of water. Which it says if you use a pressure cooker, don't add that cup of water. That's just if you're using a pot like this. Although if it was me, since I have this beef broth here, made a mess. I'll just add a little more. Make up for what I lost. Like I said, I apologize. My hands shake. I can't help it. I have here some oregano that came out of the garden. I dry it in a dehydrator. You plant a little bit of this, it grows every year. Some of these have stems on them, I gotta break off. I'll just use my hands and break them up a little bit. I'm not adding much. They don't call for it. Some recipes call for just herbs, but don't say. Because I looked up a variety of recipes, But this one does call, the only herb it really calls for is thyme. And the goulash I had yesterday, you could taste the thyme in it. They made fresh. They cooked that ravioli with fresh sauce. And it had thyme in it, and you could tell the thyme was fresh. And it does change the flavor of it. It does make a difference. So normally I use dried. One pot. That should do it. The sad thing is, I bought all this. Most of it I won't use. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic to this. I really don't measure it, I just add some. I'll add a little more. You really don't want to leave out the thyme. I don't know exactly how much fresh thyme to add. I'm not for sure. I think them are called springs. I think it says to add, some of them I've seen says to add 3. So, I'm really not for sure how much you should add. I should have added the garlic in there before I added the beef broth, but I forgot about it. Well, it's in there now. I'm going to get this lid off out of the way. And I think, because I'm going to cook for it this bag of egg noodles. I want it fresh. The store I go to, normally you can get fresh in the produce section in the cooler. I didn't see it in there this time. I like lots of sauce. So I'm going to add the 3rd can. Like I said, the recipe calls for 2 cans. So adding the 3rd can could change the flavor of it. Turn that off. See if I can do this. Without making a mess, spilling it all over, burning myself. See if I can get more of these carrots and things out. That's about all I'm going to get. Now I'm going to mix this together good. You're going to put this in the pressure cooker for 30 minutes. You're going to let it release the pressure naturally for around 10 minutes or so. Okay. There it is, there's your sauce. This will be the end of the video. Although think everybody pretty much knows how to make pasta. You put it in boiling water for so many minutes. If it's fresh, you only put it in there for like 5 minutes or so. But that's just the regular dried stuff. Time. All right. You know, since we have this pot, I was going to wash it out, but it just has some other onion and stuff in it. If anything, it'll just help clean up the pasta a little bit. So let me know if I'm making a mistake by not rinsing it out. I'm going to turn the stove back on. I don't know why I shut it off in the first place. Wasn't thinking. Turn it up a little more. Let this heat up to a boil and add the pasta in. And once this is done, I can add the pasta to the sauce and we're ready to eat. Yesterday, the video should be out by now, but if it's not, I made some banana pudding cheesecake fluff that we're going to have for dessert to go along with this. So, like I said, that video should have been out before this one. But if not, you have that to look forward to. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch that. It's real simple to make. It's just vanilla wafers, a small box of pudding, made to directions, but it actually recommends using a ½ cup less milk. It calls for 2 cups. It recommends using, some recipes say 1 cup, some say 1.5 cups. I added 1.5 cups and that turned out pretty good. You might be able to use 2 cups, but it might not be as fluffy. So it does recommend for that using less. It calls for bananas, whipped cream, and cream cheese. That's it. So it's real easy to make. So if you haven't seen that video, you can go back and watch that one. But that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.